Hey everyone, my name is Olivia, and in this video I'm going to be explaining what archetypes are, and I will also be demonstrating 10 different archetypes. So, our very first one is a hero. So, when we think of an archetypical hero, I immediately think of Hercules. So I just picture what Hercules, how he would stand before he's about to encounter Hades, or before he's about to slash some three-headed monsters. So he might be standing with his hands on his hips, his chest out, his chin up. He might be having his sword out and his shield up, right? So he's ready to slash and shield at the same time. So very much of an earth character, very earth. And I would say our energy center within our hero would be our chest. And our second archetype is a villain. So, because I used Hercules, let's say Hades for our villain example, right? So villains are usually looking out the corner of their eye at something that they may want to steal, right? But they might trick you and think that they're going to steal something, but they already have it and they're keeping it close to them. So again, I'm gonna go with Hades as a villain example. And our third archetype is a companion. Now there are actually two different types of companions. We have a companion, sorry Mike. We have two different types of companions. We have a companion to the hero, and we have a companion to the villain. So the companion to the hero, and say Hercules, would be Phil and Pegasus to the hero Hercules. So they are very much our companions for the heroes. They're very supportive. They're rooting on. They might be pointing at something that the hero doesn't see. They're, or they might even be like maybe actively getting in there and blocking something that the hero doesn't see. But they're very much in a supportive stance for the hero, right? And for the companion to the villain, let's go with, if our villain is Ursula, I would say the eels would be her companion. So they're very plotty, they're very sneaky. They are somewhat supportive to their master or the villain, but they could flake out anytime because they're selfish like that. So they're evil and they're sneaky and they're conniving and they know everything that's gonna happen and they look down upon the hero, right? So our next archetype is, our fourth archetype is the sage. So when we think of a sage, think about Dumbledore, right? So our sage is typically an older person, usually a male, but so we're thinking about Dumbledore. We're gonna give Dumbledore a stick, our walking stick, because he's old and decrepit. So he's gonna be walking with a walking stick while he's extending the knowledge to Harry Potter, right? So they're usually extending wisdom. They're giving something to the hero, and it's never money, but it is always wisdom or guidance. They are a mentor to the hero. But they could also be keeping something from the hero that pertains to the villain that they don't want the hero to know, right? So our fifth archetype would be the crone. So again, we're going to take the archetypical sage male and bring it into an evil lady, an evil witch. And I like to think of her as the evil queen in Snow White. When she's that nasty, evil, witchy witch, and she's giving an apple, trying to be like nice when it's poison. So they're like, they look up with their eyes and they're just old and they have big nose. So that's our crone. And then we have our sixth is our huntress. So a huntress, I would say, would be a Katniss Everdeen. So for the huntress, they're fierce and they're strong, but they got a little femininity to them. So they're gonna a little sultry, a little sexy, but they're strong and they could kill you in a heartbeat. And I would say Katniss Everdeen is a really good example of a huntress. And then our 7th is a rogue. So our rogue, I like to think of it as our old Western, old-timey cowboys like Buffalo Bill. They have a large, a wide stance, but their hips might be cocked a little bit, and their head might be cocked, their lip might be out. They're just kind of relaxed, man. They really are. They're very confident, and they're ready to whenever they need to, right? So that's our rogue. And then we have our fool. So a fool is like a jester or a clown, someone that a king might hire just to make him laugh when he's feeling down. They're usually wise, but they don't get treated as wise people. They get treated as just like garbage for the most part. That's our fool. And then we have our monsters. So that's something that's like 20,000 times, they're 200 feet tall. They're like Godzilla. They're gonna just trample the village. They don't care. And I think of, very just like big stance, just demolishing what's ever underneath them. They're looking down. They're gonna sweep in. They're gonna eat whatever they want. Godzilla, King Kong. That's what our monsters are. Our next one is a damsel. So I usually think of her, archetypically a female, but she's very much soft and sweet and pure and innocent. So we would think maybe a Sleeping Beauty, maybe Rapunzel, because they are very much a damsel in distress and someone has to come save them because they can't save themselves. So they're very pure, usually virginal, and that's what I like to think of as a damsel. So for my character in Pretty Theft Allegra, she doesn't actually fit within just one archetype, but if I had to choose just one, I think I would go with a damsel just because she is a little broken and she kind of does rely on Bobby and people around her to make her feel better. But again, she doesn't usually fit within one archetype. So those are the 10 different archetypes. Thank you.